Hi, and welcome back to Paper Fiore. I am Kristen Slewin, and I am incredibly excited to share with you my new obsession, which is the Altenew Foil Relief Paste. If you are not a foiler, if you don't have a glimmer, this is the easiest thing that you can do to have some gorgeous shine and shimmer to your projects. I'm absolutely obsessed with this new paste, and I hope you're going to love it as well. So I'm going to just go through and show you how to use this paste kind of in real time. So it's very easy. The paste itself is thinner than the other relief paste that Altenew has. So the Altenew, the shimmer pastes are a little bit thicker, and as you can tell, I've used this a lot because I'm absolutely in love with it. But it has a thinner consistency, not as thin as like white school glue or even our craft glue, but it is thinner than the other relief pastes. So when you are using it, you kind of have to use a lighter touch. So I'm just going to show you how to use this paste, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So to get started, I am going to show you kind of how my obsession has started. I got the paste in and I just started using it. And as you can see here, this one got a little messed up because again, this is a thinner paste, and so it kind of oozed underneath the stencil. But I have mastered my technique now, and I have been having so much fun with all of the foils I have in my arsenal and all different kinds of colors. I love using colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel, so complementary colors. So here's a pink and a green, and then I did a little stamp over top of it. I mean, it's really so fun, and in real life and in person, oh my gosh, it is just so gorgeous. This one right here is the Tiny Hearts from Altenew, and that has the red foil on it. And that is on Coral Bliss cardstock. This I absolutely loved. This is the red foil, and it is done on, I think, Pinkalicious cardstock. And then you can also use it in your stencils for like your last stencil to add a little shimmer and shine to, like, say, a flower, or in this case, for the sky. I made a gold sky on these backgrounds with the alpine trees. So I really love how versatile this is and how much fun you can have making this. So as much as you love those shimmer pastes from Altenew, this is going to be your new obsession as well. So Altenew has a ton of fabulous fun colors in their foil system. Today I am going to be using their emerald foil. There's a lot more colors than what I've shown you here, but those are the ones that I have in my arsenal. So let's go ahead and get started. I like to use my stamp wheel when I am using pastes, just because I am able to put things in the corner and make sure everything is lined up. It's just what I'm used to. And I love to use my alignment guides. And this is how I set up my stamp wheel for the alignment guides. I start off by placing in the 6x6 because most of the stencils from Altenew are 6x6. Then over top, I place in the 4¼ by 5½. And I will place my cardstock to where I want it to be right there. So it's kind of centered in my stamp wheel. And I'm using Lagoon cardstock today from Altenew. And then I will go ahead and peel off that alignment guide. Now I have the 6x6 alignment guide there, so I can just go ahead and rotate those stencils in and out, and it's easy as pie. Now I'm going to be using these 3 stencils from Altenew: Paper Echoes, Pointweave, and Luxe Lattice. The Pointweave and Luxe Lattice are from the new release that just came out. The Paper Echoes is from last month. And I have absolutely loved using all of their stencils. This one is no exception. It does a beautiful job with this foil paste, and it does a beautiful job with the other relief pastes as well. So I'm going to place my stencil in with my alignment guide, and my paper is perfectly centered, so I know that the image is going to be in there. And I'm using my size 8 spatula from Altenew. Now, like I said earlier, the paste is thinner than the other relief pastes. So when you're using this, you don't want to press down. And that is one of the mistakes that I made a lot when I first started using paste, is that I would press really hard with my spatula, and it would always seep underneath the stencil. So if you are having that problem at any time, you just want to skim it. You want to barely kiss the paper, okay? And kiss that stencil. You want a small amount, and you're just going to very gently rub it across. And the more gentle you are, the better it works. It won't seep. Now, I do have a little seepage here, as you can see, and I'll show you, because it is thinner than their other pastes. So it will seep if you do put a little too much pressure. That isn't bad, and actually my end product, you don't even see that there was a little bit of seepage. But again, you want to very gently scrape the tops of the stencil with the product, and you want to just go back and forth. So I scrape downward, and then I press back, not press, I take that back. I didn't press, because if you press, it goes under the stencil. I will let the extra product, when I go upward, I place more product, and when I scrape downward, I'm scraping the product off, okay? So I'm peeling this off, and the paste will come off like a milky kind of color, okay? So I'm going to show you here. It has a little bit of a milky color. Now, in the directions, it says to let it dry for 2 to 4 hours. Now, all of my samples that I have done prior to this, that is what I did. I let it dry for 2 to 4 hours. But today in this video, I am going to show you how to go ahead and, if you want to work quickly like me and don't want to have to wait 4 hours to play with your foils, I'm going to show you a technique that you can use while doing it. Like the relief pastes, the shimmer ones that Altenew has, you want to make sure you clean your products, okay? So I will do all of my pasting first, do some cleaning in between, but then I put all of my stencils and stuff into a little bucket of water before I can get it to my craft sink. I will wipe it all off, because it does dry and it will stick forever. So make sure that you are cleaning really well in between. Clean your sticky mat and clean your stencils, and then give it a really good wash in some soapy water when you're done. Now, for this stencil, it has some parts that could easily lift up. So I am turning my stamp wheel, and I want to work from the top down. So the little points, if I went against those points, there's a possibility that it could lift, the stencil could lift. So instead, I'm going to drag down. And because of that, I am also going to put the paste on this one just a little bit thicker. You don't have to necessarily, but that is how I chose to do it, just because I didn't want anything to seep underneath my stencil. And so because the openings on this stencil are larger, you will have varying heights of your paste. The larger points, some of them may have less paste there. It's okay, because it will all get sticky. So it doesn't matter if it's perfectly flat for this, but you want to just make sure you lay down the product very gently. Don't press too hard or anything like that. Go back and forth, and it will work out perfectly. Just like the shimmer paste, it actually works out perfectly. So as I finish with this stencil, you will see that it is on there pretty thick. I'll show you better once I peel this all off. But I really wanted to make sure that I wasn't lifting anything up, and that I wanted to make sure everything was covered nicely. So as you can see, it's milkier in some places and a little darker in some places. In the end, it's okay. All right. So perfection is not needed. If you're stressing yourself out, look here. That is not perfect. Look how thick and thin it is in different places. At the end, it's okay. You will see it is okay. Trust the process. I'm all about trusting the process here on Paper Fiore, right? So again, I'm cleaned off my sticky mat. I put my stencil in some water to sit until I'm ready to do it. And I'm going to continue on with the next stencil. And again, for all of my papers, I am using Lagoon by Altenew. In my foil, I will be using Emerald. So they're all going to be tone on tone, which I really love with the foiling. And those little spots, it's just water, because my hands were wet from when I put my stencil in my my sink that had the soapy water in it. So it's just a little bit of water. I'm fanning it off now. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the Paper Echoes. This is a fantastic stencil for this foiling technique. So if you don't have a glimmer, if you don't have a better press system or something like that that you would be able to use with your foils, and you really want to try foils, maybe you've tried the laminating foils that some of the other companies have. Those work fine too. But this is a great way to actually introduce yourself into the foils without having to invest in a glimmer machine, because you can use it with all of your stencils. It really is so much fun, and I just love how these come out. So I'm going to show you even more samples at the end of the video of some other cards that I made with these same stencils as well. But for now, I'm just showing you the technique on how to use this product, okay? That is all this video is about, is how to use the product. So again, very lightly, you're just going to put on a little bit of product. You're going to scrape it. Don't press down when you're scraping. You're just scraping, kissing the top of that stencil. You're going to give it a little love, a little swipe, very gently. Don't press down hard, okay? So now that this one is done, I'm going to go ahead and peel it off, and look at how pretty that is. I just love this Paper Echoes stencil. It is so pretty, and it just adds that perfect je ne sais quoi. I don't speak French, but that's best as I can do. Now, here's the technique that I came up with for getting the paste to dry just a little bit faster. If you use a heat gun on your paste, even the paste that we have, it can tend to bubble up, right? So this one I did first, and I'm placing it in a box, and I have a heat gun that has 2 volumes. So I'm putting it on my lowest volume. Now, in this part of the video, this is my first one. So this was the trial and error. This was the error in the trial. I had the gun pointing directly down on the paper. Even though it's at the lightest or the lowest setting, it's pointing down directly at the paper. So what I have found is that is too much direct heat. There is a lot of distance. It is pretty far away from the paper. This box is probably about a foot tall, maybe even a little taller. So it isn't right on top of the paper. It is just, it's putting the heat on the paper, okay? But it is directly pointing down to the paper. So I let this heat that paper and heat that paste for a little bit, probably about 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes. And then I went to check on it. That's when I discovered that the heat was too direct onto the paper. So I'm going to show you here that it started to bubble up. Right there, you can see. There you go, right there. See where it's bubbling up? You see some of it's clear, and then you see some bubbled up. That means there was too much heat on it. That takes away the stickiness, okay? So you don't want to heat it up. You just want to dry it and help dry it. So with some finessing and some more trial and error, I'm going to show you how I came up with it. So I'm using the same box, same gun, everything like that. And I'm going to go ahead and put the paper back in there, but I'm leaving the flaps open. And the reason I'm going to leave the flaps open is because instead of having the heat gun point down onto the paper, I'm going to have have the heat gun pointed toward the flap of the box. Okay. And that box flap is going to tilt in, as you see here. And so that will help give indirect heat. So it just gives an overall heating going on inside that box, but there isn't any direct heat going onto the paper or onto the paste. It's just like putting a fan if you're trying to dry paint, right? You put a fan on there and it's going to dry it. It's going to make it go a little bit faster, but this is going to do the same thing. It's got a little bit of heat. Again, I have the flaps of the box pointing inward to help that indirect heat go onto the paste. So I'm going to show you how long it takes, not obviously in real time, because I know you don't want to sit here for 10 minutes watching paint dry or paste dry, but I checked it after about 5 minutes. And at 5 minutes with that indirect heat, it was starting to get sticky. Now, with the stickiness, you want it to be sticky, but you don't want it to be soft. So at this point, I felt it was soft. It was sticky, so that meant that the top layer of the paste was dry, but the underneath part wasn't firmed up yet. And you want it to be a little bit more firm. Hence, especially at this time of the year, when it's super spring and it's very humid outside with all the rain and stuff, it takes longer for that paste to dry. So if you put it in there with indirect heat, it will get to the perfect stickiness, okay? So it will be tacky. Like you can tell I'm testing the tackiness here. You want it to be tacky, okay? And now what I like to do when I'm doing my foil onto this paste is I am going to run it through with my die cutting machine, okay? Now you don't have to do it that way. You could just place the foil and you can rub, 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 rub. But I like using the die cutting machine because I feel like it gives a much more crisp adhesion with the foil. If you tend to just rub and use your fingers, it gives you more of an antique kind of look. I like something that's going to give me the look of a glimmer machine, but using my stencils, okay? So when you place it down, because it's sticky, you get one chance. You don't, I mean, you can lift it up and, move your foil around and it will do it again. No problem. But I found that if you just lay it down once and you place your foil on, you got to be careful because it is sticky. Run it through your die cutting machine. I did it face down and it works like a charm. So as you can see here, you can see the texture of the paste. I do like to just rub it real quick with my finger, make sure everything is touching and everything is on there. And I'm telling you, when you see this peel off, it's just like it was done in a glimmer machine. But I didn't have to invest. I mean, I do have a glimmer machine, don't get me wrong, because I am, a full set kind of girl. I got to have it all. But look at that. And it even has some depth and texture to it because of the paste. Oh, it is just so gorgeous. I really wish I could show you this in person, how pretty it is. Now, this is the one that I had the direct heat on. I did want to run it through because I wanted to see how it worked if it was as sticky. And as you can see here, it wasn't. So you see that little part in the middle right-hand side? You can see the foil did not stick because it was overheated and it removes the stickiness of the paste. So indirect heat for 10 minutes on your lowest setting. You want to make sure that it's not blowing on the paper. It's just there. Okay. So this is the one that is very thick. And I decided that I was going to go ahead and dry this off screen because it was going to take a while because it was so much thicker. But here is the results of the foiling. Sorry, my dog just sneezed. Anyway, so it is just so beautiful. Here it is. I even used that panel with the Paper Echoes script. I went ahead and used it. I just die cut the center out and used another stencil, created something beautiful, and I even used that center part. I just covered it up with a beautiful flower. I mean, look at that. That is the Romantic Roses stencil. It is so pretty. And those are even scraps for the sentiments from my scrap bin. This one was absolutely my favorite. Look at how the foil stuck to that. That is the really thick application. It was in the box for a little bit over 10 minutes, maybe about 13 minutes. And oh my gosh, it is just so gorgeous in person. Here it is close up. I mean, the dimension of the foil, it's just so beautiful. This is the same stencil, same foil paste, and I used Opal from Spellbinders, that foil. It just is shimmer. It's on sea glass paper. So pretty. This was what made me obsessed, this card that I made. It's As You Write paper, cardstock from Altenew, and then their fuchsia foil. I mean, oh, it's breathtaking. Again, this is one that I showed you today in our video. Just look at the dimension that the paste gives the foil. It's not flat. It has dimension. Here are a couple of other cards that I made last week when I first got the foil and I was playing with it. Here it is with gold on sea glass paper. And here's another card that I made from today's video. I am so glad you're here and thank you for watching this video. I hope you try out this foil paste, and if you do, will you tag me on it? You can tag me on Instagram or you can tag me on my blog or on Facebook, and I would love to see what you make. All right? Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful, colorful day. Bye.